If you feel like I have to convince you, then we're not a good fit. That's not my job. Your job is to believe in yourself enough to get to go to where you want to go. But you're not going to believe in yourself every day. You're going to get rattled, like I've been rattled. And even my confidence, and let me tell you, I have worked my ass off on confidence. I've done everything. I had no self-worth. You can imagine I'm being sex trafficked from ages 11 to 21 years old, being raised by a narcissist. Like, you tell me if I had any confidence. I had none. I had false confidence because I learned I needed to do that in order to survive in the world. But I was miserable. So I fought hard, okay? I dug deep. Did you know that over 70% of entrepreneurs admit they've hit a point where they've seriously questioned if they were even meant for this? And here's the part no one even talks about. Even people who look successful from the outside, who are making all the money, have all the things, getting all of the press placements, they're often battling a silent rut behind the scenes. And I don't mean every day, every month, every year, but having seasons of it. I'm talking the big names, the experts you follow, even the curators who seem to have it all, even good old Coach Tiff over here. I know this because I've coached many of them and I've been an entrepreneur for 17 years. And I have had quite a few seasons of that time where you are just stuck in the rut of it, in the muck of it, to where you are questioning everything. Should I even be doing this anymore? Am I meant to do this? Who am I to do this? And then it flips to, I'm so behind. I have all this pressure. I can't catch up. All these other people are doing all the things. And you even start thinking thoughts that are like so insane and so false that you've like lost your mind, but you're starting to convince yourself that those intrusive thoughts are real. In today's episode, I'm pulling back the curtain and sharing exactly how I lost my spark over the last 9 months, how my motivation flatlined, how my confidence got rattled in ways I didn't expect, and more importantly, how I found my way back. Because the truth is, ruts aren't signs you're failing. They're invitations to reinvent yourself. In fact, you're being called to step into your next level identity. You are being called to grow because we don't take much action if we're not in pain. And pain propels us to make really strong moves that we've been in a lot of resistance in, whether it's conscious or subconscious. What up, my people, my posse, my fellow crazies? It's your host, Tiffany Carter, and this is the show that is going to help you grow your business, your bank account, that big, beautiful brain of yours, your abundance, your relationships, and everything in between. This episode is powered by my money matcha drink. I mean, imagine if Starbucks sponsored me. It actually might be dangerous. Like I might spin off into oblivion, or my bloodstream may turn into matcha at this point. 72% of entrepreneurs report mental health concerns. This is coming out of a study from UC Berkeley. So 72% of entrepreneurs are saying they've dealt with mental health issues, including depression or anxiety. Here's another interesting stat. 42% experience burnout or are questioning their path. And they've experienced this burnout in the last month, while another 24% report that they're in the middle of it. I want to share these things for you and your crazy brain that it can feel like it's just you. And I know that because I've been going through it for the past 9 months. This is my longest, I would say, rut period that I've had, but it's also going to be my biggest quantum leap, my manifestation jump, my timeline moving forward. And that is the direct correlation with how deep the rut is and how much painful it is and all the crap that's going on and all of your crash outs to what's on the other side is a surge. So I've been through other seasons. I mean, you can imagine having two businesses over 17 years in completely different, fields. One is, business to business, and that's my digital marketing firm that specializes in the health supplement, pharmaceutical sector, and that I've had it feels like since the beginning of time. And then this show, Project Me with Tiffany Carter, the podcast and business coaching academy that we're going on 6 years here, which sounds crazy to me that it's been 6 years and how much has been accomplished in 6 years. 6 years in my other business, it was not cute. I was a disaster. So the great thing is that when you build something else and you actually know what you're doing or you have real guidance, things can happen so much faster. I mean, that's the ultimate timeline hack, is to work with someone who actually knows what the hell they're doing, that can hold you accountable, that will have you follow through in doing the things in spite of what is going on in your mind, in spite of your doubts, in spite of all of the slogging through, and in a way that is realistic for your lifestyle. And I kind of start out with that. I fell into a bit of a trap to where I was consuming way too much. And you need to check yourself on this. And I would even maybe set a calendar notification in your phone at minimum once a month. But honestly, I really think if you're in it right now, once a week. And just to take a quick inventory of your rate of consumption versus rate of creation. When we are over consuming, taking too much in, and this doesn't just mean online, this can be offline too. This could be reading books. This could be listening to too many podcasts, taking too many courses, having, too many people in your life that are coming to you, too much, volunteering even can be too much if you don't have the balance of you actually being in action and creating and doing things. So too much consumption causes anxiety, analysis paralysis. That's like the main symptoms that you're doing that. Also, you can feel like I'm behind, I'm not where I should be, I can't do this, a lot of comparisonitis type thoughts. Now, if you are putting out too much, serving, it could be your community. It could be your people. It could be your employees. It could be your family. And you are just doing. And you're a classic overgiver like me. I have to be very careful of this. You'll end up depleted, exhausted, and like even a wired, tired feeling. And you'll notice that like you're really not getting that much done, or you are procrastinating a lot on getting the bigger things done that would actually move the needle, that would generate that income, would generate those sales in your business, or that would make things a lot easier for you in your business so that you can enjoy your life. Because cash without having a life that you can enjoy is not freedom, is not wealth. I know, I lived that life. And so I got caught up first in overgiving. I had a insane, amazingly abundant year last year, and quite frankly, last several years, but it was off the charts last year. And I think what happens subconsciously, and I'm unpacking this with you so you can help identify stuff within yourself, but also so like, you're not alone in it. Like, I teach this shit. And those of you who are familiar with me know I have a therapist. I have 2 coaches. I'm medicated. I do somatic practices. Like, I do all sorts of these things, and it still happens to me. So this does not mean you're not cut out for it. This doesn't mean that you're too sensitive to be able to have a business or grow your business or be able to put out there with what you want. Don't start telling yourself, oh, it's because I have ADHD or whatever. No. That's your brain playing tricks on you, which is one of the things that happens when you're in a rut. So I was over consuming while also over giving. So the whole burning the candle at both ends, I was doing both sides. And subconsciously, when I now can see it and unpack it, it's because I felt I had to earn my keep. And I call it the Cinderella complex. I have a viral TikTok video about it. The way I grew up with a mom as a narcissist and in a heavily abusive household, I was only going to get, love, attention, my needs met on some level by what I was doing. Me being was not going to suffice. Okay. I had to be doing. I had to earn my keep. And quite frankly, how I was raised was not far off from a Cinderella. A Cinderella, though, sex trafficked. I'm laughing because, this is what trauma survivors do. So don't take it as an offense. It's a coping mechanism. But it's like so It's so outrageous and so audacious that I have to laugh at it. So it's a healthy thing. So don't feel bad if you're laughing. Because now I'm picturing like Cinderella as like a hoe. Oh my God. Wow. Maybe I should have put a trigger warning on this episode. Anyway, so I got like age inappropriate chores while also being expected to get top grades, be a top performer. Then I got put into like childhood modeling and acting. So then I had the pressure of like needing to get parts so that she looked good. And then I did competitive dance, and it was absolutely insane. And so earning my keep, and because I was raised with money, and I had the dance lessons. I had the nice clothes. Like there was glass Snapple bottles in the refrigerator. Now, I don't know about you, and obviously there's people from 57 countries and growing, all over that listen to the show. How did you know that a kid was rich in school? Besides, like they had a nice house, like what were some telltale signs? And in the 90s, if you had the glass Snapple in your fridge and it wasn't like for mom or dad, I mean, there was like plenty. And then you had like elite level snacks, which everything was like packaged goods back then. But you had the expensive snacks. You weren't getting like some Kool-Aid in a glass jar. That was my house, okay? So because I was raised with money, and a lot of people can assume like you had that much money noise and no self-worth and when you were raised with money, because a lot of people assume that all the money noise and all of the resistances and all the abundance blocks come from being raised, with less. And that is not true. It happens with all across the board on any single level because it's much deeper than that. But because of having the nice things and I had to earn my keep, it's imprinted in me to have nice things and keep them coming and keep them manifesting and keep growing. I have to be a dancing monkey. I have to do an insane amount of work to continue to earn my keep for something that I want. Now, I wasn't aware I slipped into this, but I did. I thought I was just being of service. And because I was going viral just constantly, the podcast episodes were going viral. We're getting tons of emails, tons of DMs. I felt like I was stepping up and communicating with my people and communicating with my team with this growth surge, and that I was doing the right thing. And yes, you do want to, of course, serve your people and serve your clients and do the right thing, but not at your expense. Right. It's the energy of where it was coming from. So that's where all of it started. And then I started over consuming and taking a lot of stuff in. I think my way of dissociating at night and like taking a break and trying to manage probably my exhaustion from over giving is that I scrolled and scrolled and scrolled and scrolled and just like took in, kept taking in more stuff and like Netflix series after Netflix series and then buying stuff on Amazon. And I had an awareness, that I was doing a lot of consuming, but I somehow justified it. That's what I mean by it's tricky. So this was a whole setup that was going on. So that wasn't good. I was in a weakened state, and the universe did that for me. It put me in that weakened state. That needed to happen. Have you ever had a coaching session, whether it's with me or maybe you've had a therapy session or even like a really great talk with a friend or a partner, and you've not slept well, you're a mess, you're so raw and vulnerable, but it ends up being the most emotionally productive conversation or session because your guard is down, your defenses are down. You don't even have the energy to keep that up anymore. And that's why God, the universe, spirit, your angels strip you down and break you down in order for you to be built back up differently, built back up into the next iteration of you. We're not meant to stay the same. Our bodies don't stay the same. Our skin doesn't stay the same. Our cells don't stay the same. We are meant to continue to grow and evolve. And since when did any of us think that growth was comfortable. It's not comfortable when we went through puberty. It wasn't comfortable when we lost our baby teeth and got our adult teeth. I mean, growth is something that requires pressure points and pain points and molding and massaging and pushing and sometimes even forcing. If we're in so much resistance of it, consciously or subconsciously, you're going to get shoved into it. It's like, listen, I know you are meant to be standing in the arena. I know you're meant to be on stage. I know you're meant to be doing the podcast. And I know you're meant to take your business here. I know you're meant to press publish on that video. I know that you are. And it's like someone who believes in you so much is like, has to shove you in there because you're in so much resistance. That is exactly what happens when you're quantum leaping. And that's why I always say to you guys, when you are in this kind of spot, and I sense there's a lot of people listening who are in this rut and in this period, and it feels like you're going backwards. It doesn't even feel like you're spinning in place in insanity. It's more of like, oh my God, I'm going backwards. Like, am I going to lose everything? What about all the work I've put into it? Like, how am I in this spot right now? How am I going to get ahead? And it feels like you're a stalled car on a major freeway, like the 405 here in LA, and all these other cars are speeding past you. And it's overwhelming. And it's like, I don't feel safe. I'm stalled over here. And like, I need to be able to get like back in the lane and get back going. But like, how am I even going to get back in? These people are going so fast. And how am I going to catch up? And now I feel I'm falling more and more behind. And what am I going to do? You're not behind. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. You are being pulled back. You are being pulled over, and using the car analogy, in order for you to undergo some repairs, in order for you to undergo some retooling, for you to have your system recalibrated to prepare you for your manifestation surge, for your quantum jump. Let me read this to you, okay? I have some examples of public figures who were thankfully honest enough to share their truth behind the scenes. So Sarah Blakely, founder of Spanx, despite becoming the world's youngest self-made female billionaire, Sarah has shared candidly about hitting periods of creative burnout and losing her drive, especially after her company's rapid growth. I want you to hear that because I know there's others of you like me who have had a lot of growth, had even a surge, had some of your best years, best months, best weeks, best sales periods, and then it all spiraled out. She's admitted to pulling back from the spotlight and focusing on what lights her up again, saying, quote, I had to remember why I started in the first place. So don't think that you just end up in this place because you're in this victim-y spot of like, nothing's working, I'm trying everything. It can also happen right after a major surge. Howard Schultz, Starbucks CEO, we know I had to include this. Shout out your lavender oat milk matcha. Thank you. After scaling Starbucks into a global empire, Schultz stepped down as CEO in 2000, citing exhaustion and disillusionment with the company's direction. What a great word. He later admitted that the company's fast-paced expansion left him feeling disconnected and drained. He returned as CEO in 2008, using that rut as a reset season to realign Starbucks with its core mission. And those of you who've been around and follow marketing and branding, or maybe you're like a longtime consumer of Starbucks, if you sit back and think about these time periods, you remember the surge and look at what Starbucks is today. Okay. Another example, Ed Sheeran. I probably am saying his name wrong, music artist. So I feel like it's Sheeran, but it's Sheeran, I think. After years of global success, Ed Sheeran, whatever, you know who I'm talking about, took a full year off, admitting he felt creatively drained and personally disconnected. Despite topping the charts, he described feeling like he was just working to survive rather than creating with joy. Now, I know what some of you are thinking because you're in this spot is you're going, Yes, but you're talking about billionaires and celebrities, Tiff. They can take 5 years off if they want to regroup because they have all of the money and they have staff and they have things to do it. Like, what about us normal people? Well, that's why I'm here. That's why I am willing to share the unflattering stuff, the ugly truth, things that, like, truly probably, just aren't a good look on me in order for you to know what is normal. What you think is normal from all of your consumption and watching all these people is that everything they touch turns to gold, quick, quick, quick wins. You just keep winning, 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 and there's no rut period, there's no off seasons, there's no downtime because people don't share it. Because one, they're not comfortable being that vulnerable. Two, they're afraid you won't buy their shit from them if they share that stuff with you because it's not flattering. I'm not afraid of that. I'm not afraid of you not buying my stuff. My shit's elite, okay? You're going to work with me and buy my stuff because you are someone who wants to work with someone who keeps it simple, who keeps it straightforward, and has been through the ringer. Someone who's not willing to share openly about the stuff that they've went through. How well are they going to be able to coach you and navigate you through all of that? So I don't forget, because this episode what is very vulnerable for me to share, and I can end up like going into a blacked out state. So I want to make sure I let you know I am not doing my 2-day live in-person mastermind experience this year. Instead, I am opening my summer applications for my exclusive 2-month private business coaching program. If you are someone who is in this spot, you feel like you've lost momentum, you're in this rut, you know you're being called for bigger things, but there's a state of confusion, there's a state of, but I'm not sure how to go about it. I feel almost directionless. Something doesn't feel right in my business. Whether you are starting from, the early days or you're a well-established entrepreneur, I work with all of that and in between. You need to apply to my 2-month private coaching. You need customized coaching to be able to reverse engineer you into your goals and in a way that feels good to you and your ideal client. If you are not a type A person and an extrovert that wants to do, go, 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 you should not have any form of a business plan and a strategy in order for you to make the money you want to make working 12 hours a day. First of all, I'm not the right person for you to work with if you're wired that way. I am the opposite. I am type C for chill. We work less and make more over here. That doesn't mean we don't work, but I work part time. Okay. I work 30 hours a week with 2 businesses. So this is very possible as long as you are strategic and you make sure that you have a clear plan. You plan the work and work the plan. So you don't just come to me to get taught stuff. You don't need more information. You need to implement customized strategy, and that is what we do together. I only take 4 private clients at a time. I am most likely not opening up any of my private coaching for the fall because I'm preparing for a really exciting launch. So this is it. And you can swipe up. You can access the application in the show notes. This is not in my link in bio on Instagram or TikTok, so don't look there. You can also DM me if you do have a question. But if really, you shouldn't have a question. Being straight up with you, any time that I knew it was time for me to work with a certain person and it was someone I trusted and someone I felt safe with and someone I felt would understand me and they had the receipts and I knew they knew the way, what other question is there to have? Because even if you have a question about, let's say, money, right? That's coming up for you. Well, the real question is, what can I do and how can I figure out a way to make this investment? When I started my first business and when I started the second business, I didn't go, well, I just want to know how much this costs. I mean, yes, it's good to know like an idea of a range of something so that, but it's more so that you could make a plan in order to do it. But I want you to look at like, okay, it's time. I'm pulled. If it's been on your mind and it's been nagging you, You need to trust that this is the direction that the universe is pointing you in. And that's really another great tip here is that, you know how they say when you work out that the exercises you need to do most are the ones that you hate? You know, it's like a muscle group that you hate working out, but like you need to do it. Like I don't love Pilates. I love the results. And I really needed to strengthen my core. And it's miserable. And the exercises that I hate in there, the ones that are the hardest, the ones I dread, the ones that almost make me nauseous, they're the ones that have strengthened me the most. They're the ones that have given me the fastest results. And I remind myself of that when I'm doing it. This is what's getting you the fastest results. This isn't going to last that long. You can do this. We can do hard things. So the stuff that you're being called to do, the stuff that you're leaning into, the stuff that you've contemplated for far too long that hasn't left your mind, it keeps resurfacing. Trust that you're being called to do it. It's there for a reason. Your desires are divine interventions. Otherwise, those wouldn't be there. And we have different desires at different periods in our life. It is the universe saying, okay, look over here. You've asked for help. You've asked for a solution. You've asked for guidance. I keep putting it in front of you. And then you go into insane resistance around it. Because what if it doesn't work? And I've hired other people and I'm da. And like, can I really do this? And it's like, and you have a choice. You can keep staying and swirling in that. But how much longer do you really want to abandon your dreams, your bigger vision? You have to ask yourself that and call it like it is. It's self-abandonment. If you are not leaning into where God, where the universe, where spirit is wanting you to go, you're going to be in this rut period and you're going to drag it the fuck out. And I get to say this because that is what happened. I was kicking and screaming being in this rut. I didn't like it. It was Polly Pissy Pants Tiff. My inner child was like, I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to do this. And like, I don't want to go to school and like stomping around. And so much, I just increase the pain because I am a stubborn mofo over here. And then the fires happened in LA in January. And it was like, then like there's all the shit with the government in the United States. And it was just like one insanity thing after another. Then I had to end up getting pretty much almost entirely a new team on ProjectME. But you want to know what? I was supposed to get a new team. I was holding myself back by not having a new, more elevated team and a team that was far more supportive and caring and loving and excited about the growth of the brand and the people who are in our community. And, you know, I can get really familiar and stagnant with people, places, and things. Familiar feels great to my nervous system, especially as a trauma survivor. And likely you relate to that, where it's like, oh, you know, the same old sweatpants from college. Oh, let's do the same workout. Let's eat the same things. Let's, you know, keep the same people around. You know, like, I don't want too much change. And because the world was changing so rapidly and is in 2025, it's undeniable all over the world. And we kept getting sidewhacked with like new news and then this happening and this catastrophe happening. And my nervous system was so wackadood, even with all the stuff that I do, that the last thing I wanted was any more change. And you might feel that way now that I'm bringing it to your conscious mind. It can happen subconsciously. You're like, no, I'm not, nothing new. I'm not doing it. Like, let's just do this for now. Let's just do it. No, we'll do it. And then you have excuses and you put it off. But ultimately, the universe is going to put you in enough discomfort and pain or it'll do it for you. You know how many clients I've had that have wanted to transition out of their corporate jobs into working for themselves to have freedom of time, energy, and money. And then they've come to me because they're like starting, you know, they're doing the side hustle and they want to build their business faster so they can get out of their jobby job faster. And then they get fired. And it's not expected. It's not like they were fired because they like weren't like working or like doing something dishonest. There was a layoff, something happened because the universe did for them what they couldn't do for ourselves. And this can happen in so many areas of our life. And that's what happened to me because I did not want change. So change was forced upon me, which is far more painful. And that might be happening for you. And I can go on and on. I mean, my big launch that I have, Selling with Soul, and those of you who've done Selling with Soul or have wanted to do Selling with Soul, you are going to shizeth. This is my new word, shizeth. I'm so strange. You will absolutely shizeth come, I would say, when am I? There's a big event happening online I'm doing in September that's new that I've never done. No, am I doing it September? No, it's October 1st and 2nd. So that was a little sneak peeker. On October 1st and 2nd, make sure you put something in your calendar because you for sure won't want to miss this. Like if you've loved like the 3 days to make bank that I do once a year, this is going to be a once a year thing that I've never done before that we've been working on behind the scenes. And I have something really special that's launching in October for all of you. Where was I fucking going with any of this? I have no idea other than I'm spilling way too much tea too early. So, but you guys get to know that on the podcast. Well, I know where I was going with it. In order for me to have even had the mental bandwidth, the physical bandwidth to be able to put out something new at this level, which I have not done in years, of course, I had to be recalibrated internally and externally. Where I was also going with this is my Selling with Soul launch from this year. There was a unexpected, insane tech situation that was out of all of our control that absolutely impacted the launch. It was still an excellent launch, but it cost me straight up, fair to say, $1 million. Okay, meaning in lost sales because of this, and there was not a fucking thing I can do from it. I was infuriated, but why did that happen? That happened in order for me to go about launching things differently. This is how we learn what works and what doesn't. This is why you work with someone that has put themselves out there enough to where mistakes have happened, things outside their control, things in their control. So then you have all your bases covered. And still, some shiz can still go down. Okay. Like if it went down for me, okay, Miss Virgo, plan for a plan for a plan. It can happen to anyone, but you are stacking the odds in your favor that you are set up for success and stacking that cash. And you want to ultimately set yourself up for that. That would be my 2-month private business coaching program. Like I said, the application link is in the show notes. It's in the description here on YouTube on ProjectME TV as well. So don't wait on applying, because once those spots are filled up, I'm shutting down the applications and I don't know when those are going to be opening again. So don't get yourself in a situation where you don't have the setup and the support you need to cash in on prime money making season online, which is September through December. And in some industries, if you're in health, fitness, nutrition, it's September through January. All right. And it's like you can't not make money if you have things set up like properly. Period. End of story. And if you're internally and externally, which we do both of that when we're working together, the other great option is we have summer enrollment for my ProjectME Posse business coaching program, weekly live trainings. This is more designed for people who are making between $0 and $15,000 per month consistently online. So you could be making hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, like in a real estate business or as a physician or whatever, but you're wanting to build an arm or a personal brand or a separate company or a different revenue stream, particularly online, because you see the power of it. You want to reach more people on a global level, and you want to be making those sales around the clock while you're able to go do other things. And that is the main focus of the posse, and doing the strategy work externally and doing the internal work in order to show up. Some of you get hooked in and do way too much internal work and not enough external work, and that's why it's not working. And some of you do the opposite. You're doing on the outside, and you are not doing any of the internal calibration, which is likely why, you get forced into these really uncomfortable situations where your hands are in the air, you're waving the white flag. And I don't mean in a victim-y way, but in a, I need fucking help. This is chaos. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Please, someone help me, and someone I trust, and someone who gets it, and someone I feel I can be myself with. And whatever it costs, I'm going to figure it out, because the cost of me staying where I'm at for any longer is way too high. There's not a great quality of life. This doesn't feel good. I'm going backwards. I'm not going to where I want to go with my dreams, with my life, with my business. And we need to stop the bleeding here. We need to fix this, and fuck it, let's go. Those are the people who get the best results with me. I will never convince you to work with me. Number one, I'm too rich and I don't need to. Number two, I have done that early on in business, and they end up being the worst fucking clients. So don't do that. I don't need to convince anyone. If you feel like I have to convince you, then we're not a good fit. All right. That's not my job. Your job is to believe in yourself enough to go to where you want to go. But you're not going to believe in yourself every day. You're going to get rattled, like I've been rattled. And even my confidence. And let me tell you, I have worked my ass off on confidence. I mean, to the bone. I've done everything. I had no self-worth. You can imagine I'm being sex trafficked from ages 11 to 21 years old, being raised by a narcissist. You tell me if I had any confidence. I had none. I had false confidence because I learned I needed to do that in order to survive in the world, but I was miserable. So I fought hard, okay? I dug deep for a true grounded confidence in what you see, and why I'm able to share such raw, vulnerable things is because of my level of confidence, and mine got rattled. I'm talking, this is the first time my confidence has been rattled, maybe even in a decade. And that's not true. That's not true. I would say 8 years, 8 years. I mean, seriously, to where I'm going, are people over me? Am I not cut out to do this? I thought this was my path. I thought this was the greater good. I thought this was my calling. And maybe I'm not supposed to, because if I was supposed to be doing this, wouldn't I already have a Spotify podcast deal at this point? Wouldn't I already be doing blank, 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 and blank? Wouldn't I already be down this path? Wouldn't I already have book publishers, knocking down my door? Wouldn't I already have millions of followers at this point with all the time and energy and heart that I've put into things? And I know I have the talent and the wisdom. And then I see other people who are either much younger than me, or haven't even been at it as long as me, or quite frankly, have nowhere near the receipts as me. And they're getting all of these opportunities and these other things because I fell into that comparisonitis, which is a main sign that you're about to quantum leap. You're on a different timeline. Seeing where some people are at and how they got there in a short period of time, and just audacious results, is getting a glimpse of what's going to happen for you. That's why you're seeing it. You're seeing evidence of it. For a lot of you, I'm evidence of it for you. And it might not look the same. You might not have the same results because that's not your path. That's not how you're going to get to your manifestations, because we're all wired differently. But that's there to show you, hey, if it's possible for this chooch, if it's possible for this basic bitch, it's possible for me. Instead of you looking at it oh, well, they all have it and I don't have it yet, and I'm not there yet, and I'm not where I want to be yet, and you would think I would be there already, so maybe I'm not supposed to do this. Nah, that's your ego messing with you. And I understand, because that's all what was coming up for me. And whatever we fixate on, my fellow overthinkers, overanalyzers, we can fixate on stuff. And when we fixate on, well, maybe I'm not meant to be doing this, maybe this isn't my thing, I'm so behind, I'm so behind. All you do is you see everywhere, You see confirming evidence of whatever it is that you have, this loop in your mind, and we have to get you out of that loop. And I am doing part 2 of this episode because since there's a story involved and a solution involved, I think that you are owed a deeper walkthrough of the solution than I can do in one episode. So I'm going to just give you a couple things right now for you to do to help you navigate through this rut. You cannot force yourself out of this, shove yourself out of this. Think of it like you're being in a riptide. If you're watching on ProjectME TV on YouTube, you can see the ocean right from my podcast area right behind me. So when you're in a riptide, you will never hear a lifeguard tell you, paddle for your life. Force, push your way out of it. You'll die. Straight up. You will literally die. You've got to let go and slowly zigzag in, let go some more. And it will look like you are being carried out to fucking sea. Okay? And it's real. You are being carried out to sea. And it will feel like you're getting further and further away from the shore. But what's happening is you're getting 3% closer every time. Whereas if you forced and pushed and kicked and kicked and kicked, you would burn out of energy way before you would ever make it to shore. Your instant reaction, human reaction, is to frantically do it. Same for those of you who live in the frozen tundra of Canada. I'm from Chicago, okay? I went to college in Boston. I know the cold. And I know how to drive in the ice and drive in the snow. It's icy out. Do you start plowing your way through it to get through the ice? Absolutely not. Your foot comes off that gas if you hit some black ice and you have your hand on the wheel, not even stiffly, and you're guiding it. You're not jerking the wheel around with your foot off the gas. You'll end up spun out. You'll end up hitting somebody. But your natural reaction when you're scared is to tense up and be rigid and go and doing all the things. So your first step is, I need you to exhale. I need you to get into surrender. Even if you're having to tell yourself this, but you're not there yet, right? Like your body has to catch up to it. Sometimes we can get our body there, but our brain's not there, or vice versa. I need you to surrender. I need you to even do something as simple as lighting a candle and praying to whoever you pray to. And I surrender. This is bigger than me. This is greater than me. My life is feeling unmanageable. I'm irritable, restless, and discontent. I don't like how I'm feeling. I need help. I need guidance. Please help me. Please help me is the best prayer. You don't even have to say anything other than that. You don't have to even go, I need to say exactly what I need help with. You might not even fucking know exactly what you need help with. And even if you think you know, we don't know shit because we're not in full control. Please help me. Please help me. I surrender. I'm taking my foot off the gas. I'm coasting. I'm going to stop frantically like paddling, and even picture yourself doing that. And you're going to have to do that every time the anxiety comes in, the stress comes in, to start grabbing you and gripping you. And you might have to do this 15 times a day. And truly it can be as simple as like, please help me. Please help me. Please help me. Even maybe you hearing me say that right now with a deep breath. Please help me. I now surrender. Please help me. I now surrender. You are being divinely supported right now, even though it doesn't look like it. Even in our worst and hardest times, we actually are being divinely supported, guided, and rerouted. But it's funny. That's what people kind of like stop praying when all the external stuff is going well, right? Like, because it's like, oh, I'm so abundant. The universe loves me, and all of that. I do it too. And then when things are in the shitter, it's like, does God not hear me? My manifestations aren't working. That's not fucking true. This is when they're the hardest at work. This is also for you. It has to work on both sides. And you need to be reminded of this. The second thing that I need you to do is I need you to have intentional movement. What I mean by this is go do my summer abundance walks. I'm going to put them in the show notes. It's projectmewithtiffany.com/ Summer Abundance. Go do those walks. If you haven't done my Walk into Wealth series, that's going to disappear from the podcast, the 7-part series with my guided wealth journal. I gave you guys those for free for July for a reason. That is where you can start in a gentle way, not in a pushing, forcing way, in a way that's going to feel really soothing to your nervous system, of having a clear path, right? The smoke is going to clear on where you're going through this timeline jump, through this leap, and really identifying and embodying your new wealth identity. And if you've already done it, perhaps you need to do it again. If you blew off doing the guided workbook, which I know some of you have, you're being called to make sure that you do this. Those are your first two. And then your brain's going, God, what else do I need to do? I need more support than this, Tiff. And I'm that person. When I am in a spot, I need a support team. And I always have a support team in place. It's the best investment I'll make, and I'll always find money to pay for it. Even if it doesn't make sense on paper, like I have more coming out than coming in, my ass prioritizes my support team, or I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be talking to you. None of this would be happening. And things just spiral out, then get support. Apply to work with me privately, get in the posse. You have no excuse with me to not get high quality, intentional support. And when you show support for yourself, that's a form of surrender. I am seeking help. I'm worthy of help. My dreams and my visions and the life that I want is worthy of having high quality help. I'm worthy of investing in. That's the opposite of self-abandonment. That is you taking an action, stepping in the right direction, and making sure that you are being held along the way, and not forced and not pushed, but held. There's a big difference. There's a lot of internal squeezing going on, like you're wringing out a sponge, and that is taking away your life force more and more every day. Just do some letting go, even if it's like the 3% by 3%. Even if it's 1 hour at a time, I promise you that's more than enough. It's far more than what you've been doing. And let me know if you appreciated this episode, where you're at. You can always DM me on Instagram at ProjectME with Tiffany. It is me replying to you. It is not my fucking team, okay? Like, I love you guys so much, and I don't put a chat bot in there. The only time there's a chat bot is if I am doing a post and I tell you comment posse below for me to send you the summer enrollment page for the posse. And then that's automated, but not when you're reaching out to me, sharing podcast topics you want, things that it came up for you or the episode. And you can reply to any of the emails that I send out to you as well. Okay. And let me know by taking a screenshot of this episode and sharing it, tagging me at Project Me with Tiffany on TikTok, on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, on any of the things. And I would really appreciate you writing a review of the show, just taking 30 seconds to do it. I have a goal of getting to 2,000 Apple reviews by the end of this year. And I would so appreciate if you helped make that mini goal of mine happen. It would mean a lot to us and all the work that goes into putting on the show behind the scenes. Wishing you great health, wealth, and worth as always. Love you.